Man. Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the BINACT podcast where we talk music, the people that make it, and the communities that listen to it. Look at us back on schedule for we're good on schedule now, and I'm very proud of us. It only took us 3, 4 months. So yay. Good for us. So, uh, at the time of recording, it's probably like a good 70-ish degrees outside here in South Carolina, which I'm very excited about. So, you know what that means? It is time for us to have our yearly R&B podcast. So, tonight I am joined by my regular co-host AD and our lovely podcast editor who likes to join us once or twice a year, OG. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good.
I'm all right. I need shave. That's what this camera's telling me.
Yeah, getting on camera, you know, once a week because I get on camera for work once a week and then I get on here once a week. And sometimes I'm just like, this is what I look like today. This is a lot going on. OG, catch us up. It's been a year. How's life?
How can I
How's life?
summarize how's life since the last time I've been on this podcast? Everything's been good, man. You know, kids are growing and learning, and I'm ever evolving as usual. So is everything around me. So I don't have any complaints, man. Things are good.
I heard that your eldest son is twice my height.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not hard. I mean, my youngest is probably exactly your height. So there's
No,
that.
don't do that. He's
So
probably
yeah,
taller than me,
yeah,
honestly.
you about to be shorter than an 11-year-old. So it is what it is.
Probably. That's when I stopped growing. It was around that age, actually,
Come
11,
on.
12. I
Come
didn't I didn't get any more inches. It's real sad. That's how it that's how it worked out for me. I actually so I wanted to open. I had an opener this week. And I wanted to see if you guys had heard about this. So much has happened in the past couple of weeks in general with like random pop culture news, but apparently, and I don't have the full details of this. I just have like general knowledge. But apparently, Tinashe got asked a question about why she was doing music with both R. Kelly and Chris Brown. And so she basically snapped back and was like, hey, wasn't really me. The label put me up to it, whatever, whatever. So Chris Brown, being the Chris Brown that he is, snapped back at her and was like, well, it was basically to the tune of name 5 Tinashe songs. Like, is she relevant? Whatever, whatever. So I found out about this because my fiance told me about it. And I just, the R. Kelly of it all, I really didn't know she had an R. Kelly song. I was shocked. I don't know that I've heard it. If I've heard it, I literally don't remember what it is. But Chris Brown is one of those artists that like it seems like labels do like add on because Chloe got put under fire for doing that recent song with Chris. Her got put under fire when she did her song that blew up with Chris. And I just want to know, y'all are older than me and saw, well, I guess like we've all seen Chris Brown's career, but have we outgrown Chris Brown? Like, I mean, all
Out,
of his
outgrown
shenanigans,
in what sense?
like I guess I should ask, like, has the industry outgrown Chris Brown? Like, we be keeping him around, he here, but like,
No, the industry has not outgrown Chris Brown.
why not?
Capitalism.
There you go. He actually writes great records.
Okay, well, Chris Brown, but see, the problem that I have with Chris is I will not deny that Chris is talented. Like, I've never said that he was a bad artist, but Chris has not grown. Like, he's been the same artist for like the past decade? Let's
He doesn't have to.
But is that a good thing?
Who in music is really growing around him though? Who would you compare who came out at a similar time, who has grown as an artist I guess not necessarily a parallel trajectory, but another artist that started around the same time who has developed and evolved in a way that Chris Brown hasn't.
I'll even piggyback off of that is Chris Brown has evolved because he's usually the one that's innovating or finding the new sound. Before this Afrobeats trend, yes, before the Afrobeats trend became super popular, he was one of the first ones in the mainstream to adapt it and put it to his sound.
I'll give him that. I mean, I guess similar, in my opinion, similar to Drake. I'm just tired of hearing the same old from Chris, and like it might have a new little production sprinkle, but to me, it's like it's boring. It's boring to me. Like I guess I've expected more from Chris and have gotten the same stuff, and so that's why I'm not impressed.
You're making, as you told me last episode, you're making a definitive statement.
But Chris Brown hasn't grown. That is a definitive statement. Like it'd be different if I were lying.
I will ask you this: for the type of artist that Chris Brown is and the type of music that he does, where do you want him to expand? Because he was never a very introspective artist.
I mean, but I guess maybe that's where I want him to go at what, damn near 40?
Like 40.
Chris Brown.
I said damn.
He was born in like 89, okay? First
I'm about to Google his
Look,
age.
I got the Wikipedia pulled up right here because I had to figure out, like, why have I never really even cared about Chris Brown? And part of the reason why is because he released his first album in 2005. In 2005, I was almost 30. And he was like, young boy.
Yeah, he was like 16.
Yeah, it was like, this ain't for me. Not what I'm trying to do with my life right now. So I've never even really been into Chris Brown like that. He's always been like somebody that I've known, but it's never been like, yo, it's Friday. We got to go cop that new Chris Brown. I've never said those words in my life. I've never even said anything close to that. That's not disparaging him as an artist or whatever situations he's got going or whatnot. But he's been somebody who's been there. But like, if you were to tell me that, I just read this article and Chris Brown says that this last album, this is the last one that's coming out, I'd be like, okay. I mean, I've never looked forward to his music. I've never listened to his music and been like, I need more of this. I've never listened to it and said, this sucks. It's just,
he's just an artist here. Yeah,
he's just there. Listen, if we're going to get into an R&B conversation, y'all going to learn completely how old I am and how out of touch I am, because half the artists that I'm listening to right now, I don't even know how to pronounce their names. So
we do this every year, though, and that's why I'm excited. Every year.
Listen,
but I open with that.
Talk about Jodeci, though.
I mean, always. That's always a staple conversation. I only open with that because the back and forth that me and my fiance had were like basically like what AD was saying. Oh, but Chris, he is a tastemaker. Like he does do things, and I don't want to discredit what he can do, but I've just always wanted more from Chris. So,
but you never answered the question.
Wait, what? Yeah, go back to the question.
Anything from Chris, but go on.
Ask the question again because I forgot.
I said, what made you think that Chris Brown, as an artist, was this deep, introspective?
No. I don't think he's deep. What I'm saying is, like OG said, when he first came out, he was just cute little 16-year-old pop star. So I'm just saying, with his age, like as he's grown, and I have the same criticism for people like Future, Future's like 36, 37, whatever, and is still out here
damn near 42.
Even making more of my point, AD, because like
y'all gonna quit calling everybody 40 first of all.
No, I know. Well, I think
AD knows AD or knows that Future is 40. I'm saying like, and I'm on one hand,
Future just turned 40. Matter of fact, he ain't 40 yet. He's 39. He won't turn 40 until November 20th. So,
but point being, Future is really still out here talking about how many babies, like people's baby mamas he's fucking. Like I just like I just have questions. That's all I'm saying. Like, so we about to be making baby mama fucking music for an eternity.
But here's the thing: is
listen, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah. and the whole thing is Chris.
Oh wait, sorry, just to finish this thought. I have the same criticism for Nicki Minaj. So again, two-way street. I've said that about Nicki too. Just FYI.
Well, Nikki got bigger problems to deal with than
Yeah,
her.
but yeah, not the point. Not the
All right,
point.
but keeping it on Chris. Chris has his lyrics have become more mature, but Chris's personality is is more young than anything.
Okay.
So when you see him, he's more still keeping that youthful energy.
I mean, so is the
Compare,
music. It's not like the music is like leagues in front of his personality. They're pretty on par.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying is what made you feel or think that he was this deep introspective artist.
No, no, no. I'm not. I don't think
I'm
that
not even
that's who
I'm
he
even
is.
saying
I want him
for
to
the
be that.
I'm saying even for the other artists that he has written for. They even give you a say maybe Chris can go down that route.
It's more of an ask of like
Yeah,
maybe
he's not
why
going to do that.
can't we?
He's not going to do that because of, and this is just for what Chris has been doing for 16, so he's about 35, so we'll just say 20 years, right? Give or take.
Easily 18 at this point.
Easily. But we'll be generous and say 20 years, right? He's always stayed in that lane, and with with the controversies and everything, he's been more of, I just need to put out what people know me as, and they'll pay my bills.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I can back down from that, and that's kind of where you get me rolling my eyes because it's like, okay, but I, somebody who like grew up with his music, expected more, and he did have the trajectory to be more. So now that we are where we are, I'm just kind of like, eh.
That's what I'm saying. He is Chris is happy where he is. He says talking to Sharon Sharp. He says he got 15,000 songs
Good
on a
for Chris.
hard drive someplace of just unreleased music.
Yeah, Chris was
So
putting out 60 track albums. I
yeah,
forgot
and
about
they
that
all
shit.
and production wise
One
they
of them
all
gonna hit.
Right, right. I mean, now hold on. I'm not I'm not gonna say this too loud, but the single from the what is the name of that song? Why am I forgetting it? Oh my god. The one that went viral on TikTok. Do kind of slap. I listen to Chris Brown in secret. But that one do kind of slap. But
but
still, what's the name
yeah,
of that song?
I don't know.
Oh my god. I
How
gotta
old
do
is
it.
it?
It's and I'm not gonna sing it because I can't sing.
What the
Please
one
don't.
with Drake? Not the one with Drake.
No, I'm about to find it. Under the influence. Under the influence. It was. I'm not gonna hum it, but um, that
Take
one,
your
that
word for
one,
it.
that one does kind of slap. But yeah, I just had to open with that to ask some questions. I really had I had questions.
Well,
Um,
But here's a question: can you name five Tinashe
I
songs?
can two on Aquarius. She just dropped one called Gravity. She just dropped one called Treason. Those are both off the project that I'm going to talk about. But if I didn't even include those two, she's got one called um Through the Fire and the Flames. That's three. And I like Tinashe, so this isn't.
So, so again,
I like Tinashe.
this seems more like a Team Tinashe versus Chris Brown argument.
Hold on, I want to give you two more that aren't on that new project that I just listened to.
I mean, while you're doing that, of course, we might need to fill some space because this is an audio medium. I just want to point out that I can't name 5 Chris Brown songs. So
See?
it,
See?
this
See?
listen, man.
That doesn't
I
prove
hear what you're
anything.
saying, Candice. I'm with it as cool. For example, growing up listening to Outkast, every single Outkast album was different, but it was always jamming. Some people can constantly evolve. Some people can change and still be engaging with the audience. Some people can't. Like it took Jay-Z from 1996 Reasonable Doubt until he dropped 444 to actually be the
Uh-oh.
artist that a lot of people were asking him to be and actually be more introspective. And it took him to go through what he went through to drop that. So some people are
Uh-oh.
not some people don't evolve. Some artists don't change. Like, I put it to you like this: if you like down home blues, you listen to Marvin Cease and Johnny Taylor and all of that. Listen to their discography. All that stuff sounds the same. Those people did not grow. They didn't start singing about the hard times they had in their life and how they turned their life over to God and all this. No, man, they were singing that liquor house music from start to finish. That's just look, hey, this joint working, I'm gonna keep working it. Some artists are like that. They're not here for the creative evolution. They're not here to expand the palette of their listening audience. They are here to cash them checks. And if I keep putting out this music to sound like this, I'm gonna keep working with these other people who want to rock with me, and the people gonna keep buying it. Chris Brown might just be that guy.
OG with the yearly drag every year.
I've accepted that.
And then maybe I'm having a hard time accepting that. I think that's what it is, especially because like my brain, I do equate sometimes like because Chris is talented. Like, yes, I can take it from people who really ain't about shit, right? Like when I think of who you just said, the first person that popped in my mind is Sweetie, cashing a check, making hits. Okay, do that, and I don't expect nothing from her, so I'm like, okay, cash some checks.
But like, why do you expect something more from Chris Brown?
Oh, because he's talented.
No, but Candice, you got to understand that it's a politics game as well.
Yeah.
So he can come out and pop his head out and rub shoulders with other acts who have better pub than him. But because of so many things outside of the music that he has done, even when he just tries to keep his nose clean, it's like Chris kind of already in his head is like this. Look, you know what? Again, I just gotta make sure that I can provide for my kids, keep a roof over my head, and still make this money. And for his evolution, it's going to be on a production side. It's not going to be from a content side. He may talk about getting more freakier and all that type of stuff, sure, but that's as far as his evolution is going to be.
I mean,
and
you're right.
And the thing is,
disappointing but true.
But the thing is, he kind of ran through that. He kind of ran through that gauntlet early in his career.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like the freaky stuff, that was just kind of like 2 years of adorable Chris, and then we got Ho Chris like for the rest of the time. So
I was talking about the ED. I was talking about the ED.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know. That's what I say. Chris is one of the people that I grieve, like just grieving like what I saw in the or like what I thought that I was seeing.
But the thing is, everyone saw that. Everyone still believes in that because we all know Chris is very talented, but Chris at times is his own worst enemy. Yes. Chris is also got a lot of enablers that won't tell him what is what. But Chris has put out
other people that have that problem.
But the thing is, Chris also can use that pen and craft not multi-platinum songs, almost near diamond. If you want to.
We always go separate and then end up sad. So I'm about to like that. Just made like it always happens.
This is the thing. I'm gonna tell you this, and this honestly, if you figure this out, it'll solve all your problems in regards to Chris Brown. Expectation is the usher of disappointment. All right, so
I'm learning that.
Let that man be who he is, and stop expecting more of him. Listen, I'm not gonna be that guy who talks about women are like this and men are like that. But what you're doing right now really seems like when women say, oh, well, I can change him. No, man, just let that man be who it is and go find somebody who is going to value you for the way you are valued.
Facts.
I mean, and the thing, I'm not checking for Chris Brown. I'm just sad that it didn't happen. That's what I'm feeling.
as if it was expected to happen in the first place.
Yeah.
We don't know these people, Candice.
Mm.
We don't know them. They don't owe us anything.
They don't. You're right. With that being said, to to segue into another R&B conversation, actually, because we spent the opener talking about a whole, I guess, a super young artist. OG, I'm gonna ask you first.
Jesus.
I don't know where this is going, but I'm
No,
ready.
what's on your R&B list and what have you been listening to?
Oh, okay.
And now after that question,
Okay.
did you do your homework?
What was my homework? Maybe I didn't properly read my emails. What am I
Oh
supposed to be
no.
doing?
Oh, this was in a text, your text homework.
Oh, okay. Let me go back and read your text then, because
I didn't even. I don't know if I had homework. I could just tell you.
No, okay. So
I don't see any homework, Candice.
yes, there is. You had to go down a rabbit hole. You don't remember that text? It was from like 2 weeks ago.
That you actually this man to go through 2 weeks of text messages.
We
It
don't
was not
text
like me
that
and
much.
Candice
I
are
would say
text. We're not
we
text
don't
buddies
text
over
that
here.
much.
2 weeks ago.
If you don't know, I'll tell you.
Nah, you got to tell me because I'm not seeing it in here, and I'm probably skimming your
Remember
messages
Kyle
too fast.
Dion?
Remember what now?
Kyle
Kyle-
Dion. I talk about him all the time, but OG was like, "Yeah, put me on to some of the young guys," and so I put you on to Kyle Dion.
Okay,
Anyways,
so you're telling me that's more than 2 weeks, Candice. I got to go back to August for that.
that wasn't 2 weeks ago.
No,
Okay, dang.
See,
Okay, well that's on me. My brain's fuzzy. I thought that was 2 weeks ago.
I
Nah.
didn't go far enough back. That was back when we were texting about why you didn't tell me or make sure that I listened to Division when we were talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, you're right. That was That was a long
see,
time.
I got one for OG, and the project just came out either last week or the week before.
I ain't heard it. Go ahead.
Tone Sith.
I'm familiar with the artist. If you want me to tell you something to listen that he came out with in the last month or so, I don't know.
Yes.
The one that I know is the one he has with her, When You Love Someone.
Well, he just put out a project. It's quick 7 songs. Tone Stiff. That's mispronounced his name.
I'll tell you right now, man, the way my listening habits are set up, I am more likely to hear your music in a playlist than I am to go find your whole album and listen to it from top to bottom.
I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. It's quick 7 minutes. Quick. It's like 30. It's 30 minutes. And
Hey.
you talking about Jodeci and whatnot. It got that vibe.
So what I've learned is in these
I'm gonna listen to it and I'll
situations.
be disappointed. But go
Yeah, if you compare them to Jodeci, it's gonna be like,
No, but I say it got that. It got that vibe. It's actually a very good project. It's a very good project.
do a like what? Get one song. What's the the standout from that?
Yeah, give me one song. I can go listen to one song.
Okay, hold on. Look, as I bring up
As I bring up the Spotify or the whatever the title. Probably.
I am going to say. Okay, so it's only 22 minutes.
22 minutes, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say track 6, Stamina.
Stamina.
That sounds like a fun track.
But you can also go with Girls Like You and I Need You.
Okay.
But it's like it's quick. It's literally a quick 7, and it's very well. It's a cohesive project. See, I can't even call it an album. It's a project.
I'll listen to it. But I find myself when I download albums with the explicit purpose of listening to albums, I'll listen and I'll be like, okay, I don't like this one. Next. No, I don't really like this one. Next. And the next thing I know is 6 minutes later and I've skipped through the entire album. And whereas I'll go back and play, I have YouTube music. So yes, I'm old. We've already established that. So I will play a song and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's dope. And I'll just let the radio for that artist or that song play. And I'll hear the songs from the album that I downloaded and didn't like and I skipped. So I'm like, why am I wasting my time downloading these albums? Again, I'm old. Yes, I will not just stream the album. I will actually physically download it to my phone in case I'm in a situation where I cannot listen to it.
Smart.
Again, old. But I will skip all the songs in the entire album and be like, nah, I didn't really care for that. But then hear a song later on in a different context and be like, oh, that's kind of jamming. So I don't even really bother downloading or just going directly to listening to albums anymore. It's listening habits for me have changed a lot over my life listening to music.
A discussion point, but not right now. A
No,
discussion
but I
point.
did. But I understand. I understand where he's coming from because I was about to. Oh, see, for me, I try to do a blank slate for my music lesson, so I can see the hype beast online, like hyping things up, and I'm like, nah, I gotta listen to it, right? So, for example, Diddy dropped the Love album or whatever he called it. I think it's
He did do that.
yeah, the Love album, Off the Grid, right? And I will say very it is a very very good project,
That's what I've been hearing.
right?
People say that.
The production
Yeah. The folks have made that statement.
the production has been A1. You can tell that he's taken his time on making that album. However, the one thing that I always said, what I said is, uh, can someone please stop playing 21 Savage on R&B tracks?
Please.
Right. Number two, I don't need to hear Diddy rap at all
Another thing that I don't
because
want.
number three, it did need a razor blade treatment on it because when it
Oh,
was
I
ready,
figured it was long. That's why I haven't even started it because I knew that bitch was long.
I'll never hear that album. I'm just saying.
I probably won't. Like,
It's got to be playing someplace when I walk in. I will.
yeah,
I
There's
might hear the
too much music
single.
these days. I'll never hear that song. Any of those songs.
yeah, but it definitely needed the razor blade treatment just to trim some fat. And I will say for Candice, your boy didn't do that all that great on
For the
his.
weekend?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well.
He didn't do
Again, unrelated topic. We're not going
he,
to talk about that tonight.
he, he, yeah, if you're talking about an artist that needs to evolve, it's him.
Unrelated topic.
But there was a
Talk
baby
about
face,
it. I'm
but
feeling good.
there was a babyface record. There was a babyface and John Legend record dedicated to Kim Porter that was awesome. That was awesome. And when we talk about the mood and of R&B and whatnot, that captured a lot of that mood. It was just like let the R&B, we're not chasing the sound or anything. Let's just you do what you do best. And I got Mario Winans and Stevie J up in here. You know, the Hitmen.
I
We
mean,
just producing the mess out of this project. Like for me personally, I think R&B where it is right now has overlapped maybe threefolds hip hop and R&B.
wait.
Yeah.
So you're
I'm saying there's the quality of R&B where it is currently.
got that part.
It has overlapped hip hop in terms of their standard.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm together.
So
I don't know why it took me a long time to connect to that.
there's more examples of the cream rising to the top than there is.
Oh yeah, but we know that. That's actually to me kind of like undisputable, indisputable. That word.
Yes, I believe it's indisputable is the word you're looking for. Can't be argued.
Yeah, that one. Again, we're recording an hour later and it's showing.
Like I've put Cleo Soul put out
Pause. Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
We're distracted. So, kind of.
Have we veered off the rundown, Candice?
Just a little bit. But yes. Cleo Soul did put out a project and
I may never hear it, but go on.
It's I really enjoyed it. I listened to it twice. Um
I could smell the sage while listening to that album.
and I haven't actually listened to it. So I listened to it brief drop off at listening habits and then we'll circle back. But I listened to it outside on like a cheap like portable speaker. Um and that wasn't like my intent, you know. I just did it cuz I wanted to like do my first pass and hear what it sounded like. Um, and I liked it. I just have not heard it in like headphones or anything yet. But listening habits for me, I like albums, but what I have to do to hear an album, I have to. It's like I'm making like literally quality time for me and the album. So like I don't absorb them as quickly as I used to because I'm like today at 6 p.m. Sometimes I will like schedule time to like listen to an album so I can actually hear it. Um, and Cleo, I've done like I did the first listen and I like kind of vibe with it. I need to listen, or I did it twice because I played it on repeat. I need to listen to it again for me to have a full formed
I'm gonna tell
thought,
you.
but I
I'm,
did like it,
I'm gonna tell you the best time to listen to that album. It gotta be at night,
obviously.
like a nice night like that. Just riding around. Like if you got someplace to go that's like 45 minutes away, just roll down your window and just let that bitch play. I'm telling you, you will smell the sage coming from the from her
I mean,
music.
and this is the perfect time because it's the only time you can ride down with like ride anywhere with your windows down because it just now got to be like 80 something degrees.
Right.
So it's
But
beautiful.
I'm telling you that it's again another quality body of work. It's what I like to say is that it's like this where R&B is at right now. You can literally slip and fall and find three or four different projects or artists that you're like, wow,
Another
that is
accurate point. Yeah, you're
that's
right.
great. I was just listening to Majid Jordan, and they put out a nice little track with someone I have never heard of before, and I'm going to
I
find her. But
I
she,
saw the track. I can't remember the name of it, but the album artwork is kind of in my brain right now.
let's see, it's not that what? Oh my god, Waiting for You with Naomi Sharon.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
oh,
haven't listened to it, but I heard that it dropped and
oh
I saw
that
somebody post about it.
and Naomi Sharon's signed to OVO, but
That's
she
still a
is
thing?
yeah,
Okay. All
but
right.
she is
That's still a
literally
thing.
that's Sade. That's this generation's version of Sade because of her voice.
That's a bold statement.
Listen to when you listen to the track and listen to two or three more, you will hear vocally. You're like, damn, that is Sade.
Okay.
Okay.
I
I mean, I'm excited. No, that made me really excited to listen. My brain is just trying to refocus. We went a little all over
Yeah.
the place, but it's fine. I knew this was going to happen because I knew we were going to leading in with Chris Brown that we were going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Um, but OG, tell me because I want to hear some of these recommendations. I want to hear about uh the R&B that you've been listening to this year thus far.
The R&B that I've been listening to this year has been it's been different. Um I I'll say I've been listening to artists that I probably would not have previously listened to.
I love that for you.
But thank you, because even at my advanced age, I can still listen to something new and be turned on to something different. Um, I can't say that what I've been listening to has been like, oh, it's the new so and so that just dropped this year or earlier this month or whatever. Nah, if you were actually to do the I don't know, the timeline, genealogy, whatever you want to call it, on the stuff I've been listening to, I'm probably listening to stuff that's been released easily within the last 6, 7, maybe 8 years. But it's
That's
new
okay.
to me, and I feel the vibe, so I rock with it. There is don't say nothing about how these songs go together. You listen to them and you might make your own assumptions, draw your own conclusions, but I will not have drawn them for you. A lot of Janae Aiko, Mario has one with I think this might be new. It is, oh my goodness, what's the name of the song? Like Her Too. Oh yeah, okay. See, I started playing it. Hold up, we ain't there yet.
No.
That's not what this situation is. Um, a lot of Snow Allegra, Dixon. I've been on Lucky Day for a minute. Lucky Day is my guy. Like pretty much, if I talk about my listening habits and I don't listen to albums, Lucky Day drop an album, I'm gonna go listen to it. It might take me 4 days to get through the entire album because that's just the way my life is set up. But
Wait,
I'll listen to
you
it.
said for Mario Like Her Too
Yeah.
with Sabrina Claudio?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have a little crush on Sabrina Claudio. So
Well, I mean, you listen to that song, I can see why. But of course, Division. I ran through the entire Division discography
I
one
know
time,
that's right.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
why have I not been checking this out sooner?
Did
So,
you listen to their new album, like even the newest one that they put out?
what's the newest one? I don't know
Okay.
album names. I can
Hold
tell you
on.
album artwork. That's about it. Is it
I
the
got
black
it
and
now.
white one?
Hold on,
yeah,
I gotta look because I
yeah, it's
haven't
the
heard it.
black and white one.
Okay, so yeah, that's the one. Working on my karma. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
2022.
Yes.
Yes, because Bring It is my joint on that one.
Okay. Because I was hesitant. I heard some things and I have not heard that one yet. So
Yeah. Well, in my listening to Division, it put me on to other artists such as El Hey.
Oh, okay. Keep going. Keep
So
going.
I started rocking with him.
I've been listening to him
This
for a
one's gonna
long time.
sound this is gonna sound weird. Not weird. Matter of fact, y'all don't know me. Party Next Door. I was like, okay. I never thought I would like this, but Things and Such, jam, 100% a jam. I consider that R&B though.
I've outgrown. I used to have a personal disdain for Party Next Door because he felt like off-brand Weekend, but I've grown. I'm a new person now, so I can realize that Party Next Door does, in fact, make pretty good music.
He's the Equate version.
Yeah, equate to me
Yeah.
personally.
What's it called? Bilo used to have Southern Home back in the day.
Yeah,
it.
that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. But I'm an adult now. I'm
Yeah.
bigger now.
One artist that is real hit and miss with me, but I just find it funny every time I hear one of his songs, Vito.
I don't know enough about him.
Well, don't worry. You would know him if you heard him because he announces himself on every song he sings. It's Vito, baby. Every single song. He called out his own name more than MJG used to from back in the day with 8 Ball and MJG. All right. It's like that. But yeah, that's some of them. If you want to keep it low, don't put my business out in the street. But that new SZA album is better than I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, I was there also.
Look at you surprising because LA is the one that because I've been listening to LA because out of Atlanta I used to follow him on SoundCloud. He was one of my SoundCloud boos.
Mm-hmm.
Not in real life. He don't know me. But I love his music. He is on. Okay, I'm surprised it's going to the end, but yeah, he's on the thing, and I'm really excited. I love LA.
Yeah.
Like he's done music with he's got like a song. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but he's got one with like a nice K-pop artist, like one that was really popular. I'm gonna link that. I really like LA. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty much just stuff like that. I'll just listen. I'm normally or historically okay. Jodeci, Boys the Men, just I guess by now be considered old school artists. The ones that are more popular in the mid '90s, maybe early 2000s, a little bit. So I've always seemed to been gravitated more towards the Brian McKnights, early Brian McKnight, not the let me show you how your pussy work Brian McKnight, not that. But that was an evolution that came along later.
I forgot that Brian McKnight existed.
Yes,
actually.
well, listen,
I forgot that one existed.
I wish I did not know that Brian McKnight existed, but it does, and it teaches me a very important lesson that we can all evolve and change as our lives continue to grow forward. So
some of us,
yeah, except for Chris Brown, he just cashing checks, but just I say all of that to say, and even with Jodeci being a notable exception in everything I just described, more of the R&B that I listened to was more of the traditional, so to speak. We might get a little suggestive, but you know what we talking about. We ain't got to say the words. No, no, no. Everything I'm listening to now is like, yo, this is what's happening. Go
Sissy
listen to
said she gonna
Division.
kill her ex. Like she said that.
Yeah,
She said
yeah,
that.
yeah. Hey, listen, man.
She said that.
Go listen to Division and go listen to Bring It. That's what I'm listening to now. I'm at my advanced age. I'm just like, you know what? Let's cut all of the hinting, the beating around the bush. Let's get straight to it.
I
So
love that.
yeah.
I love that dynamic. I don't know what I expected, but that wasn't it. That wasn't
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
Like
hey, listen, but the thing that's funny to me is that it's really letting me know I grew up with hip hop. I love rap, but it ain't what I go to listen to at default when I'm ready to chill. I'm an R&B person.
I am a
So
serious
and
XM
eventually,
heart and soul
yeah.
in the car in the morning with the kids. I've hit that age now. I'm old. I'm an old now.
Well,
You got to that meme that goes around when you're during your 20s, you be been blasting hip hop all thing, and then literally 10 years later you're just driving around listening to some old Donny Hathaway or whatever, just like
The other day I had a podcast on really loud on like 26 in my car, and I was like, yep, this is it.
yeah. And
Podcast.
that's funny though. You talk about listening to podcasts. That's part of the reason why my music habits have changed is because not only do we have access to so much music, but I'm also
Yes.
listening to 85 different podcasts that are dropping multiple episodes, some of them in a day, multiple
At any
times a
given
week on
moment.
some of them. And then I'm listening to audiobooks at the same time. It's like I only have two ears. I can't listen to but one thing at a
so
time. So
let me ask let me veer off of that because you're actually going down a
Very
very
important topic.
yeah.
okay.
Now, mind you, we only drop twice a month on a good month. So I mean, just saying.
With all of that, you can even throw in TV or whatnot, but with so much content coming out between music, audiobooks, podcasts, movies, TV shows, well, at least for the time being,
Yeah,
because
we're
we
not
ain't
gonna
gonna
have
get
no
any.
TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna have that
Got to
for a
be
while,
ghetto out here.
right?
Hey,
How did
Severance.
do
Okay,
you
sorry.
feel? Do you feel that it is diluting those very genres and outlets? Like, there's so much out there that you're like you said, there's only so much time in a day
hmm
to really absorb everything correctly.
Yeah, I don't look at it as like it's being diluted. I think it's harder for an artist to break out and to build a fan base because, like, for me, I can't speak for anybody else's listening habits, but if I'm not listening to your album, it's going to be hard for me to really be like, your song's got to be super jamming. It's got to be so great that I'm compelled to go listen to other music you make. Usually, you know, I hear a song come up on the playlist on random and it's light skinned Keisha. I'm not going back to listen to the rest of her music. That one song she got, that's dope. I don't care about the rest of this. I mean, in so many of the people that I named outside of Division in LA, like I'm not going down a rabbit hole to investigate the rest of your music. It's way too much. I don't have the time. And I'm gonna skip through at least half of your album and probably loop back around when I hear it in a playlist later on. So because of those listening habits, it's just it I don't sit and live with it like I used to. I think that's true for people my age. People coming up behind me, I feel as though they don't really even care about albums. It's about the playlist. It's about the song. Is the song jamming? Cool. Throw it on a playlist. Here's some other songs that sound like it by other artists. Cool. These are great. I'll listen to these songs. But very rarely in that will I find something that compels me enough to go find out about it more. So I can't say that it's diluted, but the way that I listen to it and the way I ingest music these days is just not, it's not what it used to be.
But
And I want.
a key thing in what you said though, because you did mention like when you stopped at Lucky Day, you said, but Lucky Day makes me stop. And
Yes.
so there are things, or like, there are artists
Mhm.
that will break through, I call it like the playlist monotony.
Right.
And, be like, now I will take my time and find out about
Hmm.
Lucky Day or whoever that
Yeah.
is. Um, and I mean, and I think that's okay. Like you said, there's so much going on.
Hmm.
Like, and now, like before, when I used to listen to just strictly music all day, there's so much other things that I could listen to, or, oh, my brain, I could be listening to this book for work, so I can knock this
Hmm.
out while I'm, whatever. So your
Right.
mind is moving, but I will say that I grieve not being able to process. Like that's why I do intentionally, I love listening to playlists or getting stuff on my release radar. But if I do know somebody, because like I saw Tinashe dropped or whatever, when I saw it, I was like, okay, I will stop. Like Tinashe is one that I'll stop for. I might not. Tinashe is not I'm going to put time on my calendar, but I'll stop and listen to her project. So like
Hmm.
artists for me have different levels of like, will I stop, drop what I'm doing, stay up
Right.
till 12 a.m.
Yeah, I ain't doing that for nobody. I don't care how much I like your music. I'll find you out in the morning.
I'll hit you in the morning.
The only person I did that for was Kendrick. So
I stayed up for Don FM for weekends Don FM. I actually took a nap. I was trying, but I took a nap. But then I woke up and then I was up.
Yeah. Last time I stayed up for midnight for music was when I bought Mobb Deep's Murder Music back from Cat's Music in Somerville. And since then, I have not done
Since then I've not
at
heard
all.
music at 12 a.m.
Yes. I was at a midnight release once back in, I think at that point, Murder Music might have been 2001, 2002 Mobb Deep. Yeah. And done it since.
Yeah, that pleasantly surprised me. I'm very happy. That makes my heart smile. It
Yes.
does.
Old people can listen to new music.
I mean, now that wasn't, it's more of your willingness to. It's not
Yeah.
that you can't.
Well,
It's more of
Candice,
the willingness to try.
but my thing was, I felt like, okay, I can listen to these songs from 92 again, or I can see what
Right.
else is out there that, like, okay, fine. I may not know who this is, but if you can catch a vibe, then I'm with it. And I find more and more the music that I'm listening to these days is that I want to be in a specific place, either mindset, feeling, just environment, and I want to listen to music that puts me there.
Hello.
So
Let's talk about it.
yeah, so when I'll play, like I was familiar with Division. I think Mood was like one of the first songs I remember listening to by them. And I was listening to one day, I was like, well, I wonder what else they got. So I would just play the song and I would listen to the radio station that would play as a result of listening to one song. Because, our entire digital world is customers who like this might also listen to this. That's
I hate to
everything
hear it.
everywhere, whether you're on Amazon,
I
whether
hate
you
to
listen
hear
to
it.
music, whatever.
It's
So
crazy.
it's going through that. Oh, well, this sounds a little bit like this and that sounds a little bit like that. And if you enjoy this, you might also enjoy that. So I ended up falling down this rabbit hole that was more so a vibe than like, oh, I'm just going to listen to this one person's album all the way through. And I found myself finding more music that I like by more artists that I had never heard of or had looked at and thought, well, that's not for me because it's not traditionally in line with what I would listen to. That's like Ty Dolla Sign. Ty Dolla Sign is dope. Ty Dolla Sign been out for a minute. Why am I just finding out about him or listening to him or really engaging with his music in 2023? It's sometimes what you think is for you or not for you is actually for you, and you don't have to like everything by an artist. And I think that's been a little bit of struggle for me also, because it used to be like when you like an artist, you like that artist, you liked everything they did.
Yep.
Because I came from an era when you liked an artist, you had to buy an album to hear them. And now you don't have to buy an album. I brought the Sprung soundtrack. One, how many people on this call know what Sprung was? It was a
mm,
movie back in the day. Two, the only reason I bought the soundtrack is because it had Jay-Z's Who You With on it. So
the
There were
attachment.
no singles to a
Yeah,
certain degree. You had to
yeah.
buy entire albums sometimes for one song, and you end up listening to things. You know, if you take it even further back and buying cassette tapes, if you didn't like side B, but it had a good song towards the end, you had to either fast forward or listen to the song that came before it. And by listening to the song that came before it to get to the one you like, you discovered that it ain't so bad after the 46th listen. So you had more time to live and grow with music in, you know, an earlier generation than now. It's a lot of stuff is, I don't want to say disposable,
It
but
But it
is.
is.
people just say
It kind of
that
is.
I can't. Well, I don't want to say that because I believe that
Some of
there
it.
are people out there who are working
Right.
with the intention of making something that lasts long,
But
but
see,
because of the volume of everything, it gets lost in that mix. So
and
Yeah.
see, I'm
yeah.
gonna piggyback off this because I actually had this conversation with Low Key on Twitter the last night,
Mhm.
and the traction almost like literally 10,000 people have seen this interaction between me
Okay,
and Low Key.
viral.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say viral,
Eh,
I don't,
Light
but
drinks. All right.
but it
right.
was something along those. It was basically where it started from was Exhibit was talking about the state of hip hop, and he was like, everything sounds the same. And Low Key was saying this seems very shallow. What he was saying, I was like, well, I get where he's coming from in terms of the mainstream pushing out, because when we were growing up, there was different, at least a variety of different sounds and different artists. You know,
Mhm.
you had your street, you had, you know, the nerd. I want to say the nerd, but
Mhm.
backpacker rap. It was but
That real
everything.
hip hop.
Yeah, it was, but you could find something. And
Uh-huh.
now I'm saying, and I told him, I was like, I understand that, right? But I feel like more so now, where are those avenues where you can find those different artists? You literally have to scrounge through the earth to through the bottom of the earth to find like these different variations that you're like, okay, like you said, the playlist, of course, but what if you don't have time for a playlist? Who can put you onto it? Word of mouth. Well, word of mouth is depending on who you listening to, because a lot of them are hype beasts. And on top of that is a lot of artists nowadays are saying, hey, I'm just going to chase the popular sound compared to
Mhm.
actually create a project or a sound that is unique, or I want, or that will catch people.
Right.
And that's gotten a lot of response because I
Yeah.
really do feel like like we said, perfect example. Chris Brown was the one that really brought that introduced the Afro beats, even though Afro beats been out for a while, but he started popularizing it with Kid and whatnot. Then of course, okay, Drake jumps on to it. Okay, now so and so needs to jump on. Now we're getting the Afro beats influence, and people like it, people don't like it,
Mhm.
but it's again that influence compared to, all right, how can I create it? How can I
But
utilize?
is that any different from the reggae explosion from the early 90s?
See, and
Mad Lion,
We're wait.
I know.
That's in
So
the chamber. That's
Lyrical
coming.
Fires.
that's
That's
now we were
coming.
and
Yeah.
this is and I've said this, and I thank you for pointing to it, because where, and I've said this for the longest time. This is almost going on for 15, 20 years. I've been saying this. The way that the American music industry is working nowadays is basically copying everything that's come from the dancehall reggae blueprint.
It's never
Because
been an original industry. Why you
it,
think when Nelly got on, all the Saint Lunatics got signed, and then all of a sudden Chingy coming out of St. Louis? It's like,
Oh,
like
Marshall Lee. I will
everybody just got the
always
same
remember.
idea all of a sudden. You know, Eminem gets on, then D12 got an album, and then everybody start looking for artists out of Detroit. It's like it's it's always been, oh, that's hot. Oh, you found somebody over there. Well, let me go see who else I can
Right.
find over there that sounds like them.
Hmm.
But the problem is now that we are more connected as far as digitally society. So I'll tell you the greatest thing that happened to me as far as my music experience was going to college,
Oh yeah.
because I grew up around people who listened to what I listened to, listen to the same stations, watch the same television programs, and then to go like not even an hour from where I grew up to go to college and have people come from all over the country. Dude, I had no idea about some of these artists. Like I look back and be like, oh yeah, they did have a video on Rap City, but I never listened to the album until I went and I was in a dorm room across the hall from somebody who was bumping something that I had never heard in my life. It's now you can't have that because if you had told me that Pop Smoke was from New York, which he is or was,
Right.
I was just like, how? That don't sound like New York.
And
New York sounded a certain way.
yeah,
Atlanta sounded a certain way. The Midwest, the West Coast, Northwest, what have you, they all had a regional sound. There's
that's
no
Drake's
regional
fault.
sound anymore.
I'm
It's
just
all
playing.
the same. What'd you say, Candace? I'm sorry.
I said that's Drake's fault. But I said no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
well,
I'm just
I'll
playing.
tell you, Drake has benefited from it the most likely, because like who everybody sounds the same. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I don't mean that as a, oh, well, music sucks now because it's not like it was when I grew up. But there was a novelty in saying, okay, when I go listen to, Dub C and Mac 10, I'm gonna hear some slang, I'm gonna hear some accents that I would not hear when I'm normally listening to, Mos Def and Talib Kweli. Or I'm not going to hear, Master P and Cash Money the same way that I hear Nelly and the Saint Lunatics. They're going to sound different.
Yeah.
But then when we're more connected, we hear what everybody sounds like. We're borrowing each other's slang. There's no regional slang anymore. So the variety that you have, whether it's in predominantly in hip hop, in my opinion, but probably it is affecting R&B in a similar way, is that we are getting we're getting drumline, we're getting one band, one sound, and it's okay for music. But if you're craving variety, if you're craving growth, if you're craving a differential between various parts of the same group, you're not going to get that now, in my opinion. You can dig for it, but the avenues that you were talking about, AD, are Tidal, Pandora, YouTube Music, Apple Music, whatever have you. But all of those services, with minor differences, are serving us the same music through
Yeah.
all of them. So
I, and I'll also say, I know, we were not gatekeepers, but at least tastemakers. That you could have an hour block or whatever that you could say, hey, this is so and so from wherever. Hey, check them out, or
Mm-hmm.
those highlights. Now everybody is so intertwined because of the politics of the music industry. It's it's not payola, but it's payola, you
yeah,
know. And
yeah,
no one.
you can't trust an entity that establishes themselves as someone to rely on to introduce you to new music or to give you actual good critical evaluation of music, because there's always the suspicion of who's financing this, who's putting this up, why should we trust them. And if you say anything negatively about an artist, oh, then you're disregarded. You're a hater. You're a critic. You're
Mhm.
someone who I should not listen to. I want somebody who's going to validate this thing that I already believe to be true. So people are giving more people that hype, and you end up listening to and taking the words of these people who you can't honestly trust judgment on, because they've either not lived with it to where they can speak on it intelligently, or they're being paid for it, which means that their opinion honestly is kind of invalidated because it's negated by the fact that they're receiving financial compensation for their opinion.
And which piggybacks, and which goes back to our last episode, which I said about Ebro, because Ebro tries to be this. He gives off this arrogance that he's like this Mr. Know-all and everything, but yeah, he has legitimacy because he's been in those rooms or whatnot. But can you really take what he says without being unbiased? Because for example, with Diddy giving back the publishing back to the bad boy
A
artists or
good
whatnot,
move.
he was saying, well, why is it seem like, you know, Diddy's getting all this flack when other executives have done the same thing. And I was like, this, it's not an apple and oranges type of scenario. It's Diddy shouldn't have gave bad deals,
Right.
and with him saying, "Oh, here's your publishing back," it's like, okay, why couldn't you give it to them when it was really at their height?
Mhm.
Now it's at almost at nothing, because Aubrey O'Day actually was in an interview, and she was like, this, we're not getting the publishing back from Diddy, we're getting that back from Sony. So Sony is basically saying this, and there's no real gratification for them to get it. So literally, if you give me back my publishing, yeah, I can get some type of money, but not what I really could have got back in the day. Because now with streaming and everything, it's going to be like almost like 1 million streams is equals to like what, $400 or some.
If that. I
If
think that
that.
might be being generous.
Yeah.
So just from people who are reporting on the music industry or whatnot, it's not a clear, hey,
Another question.
yeah, go ahead.
Why would we knock Diddy for giving it back to him? Should he have kept it? Would that have
I
been better?
it's I think the whole thing about it was, especially given the time of how everything was dropping, is I'm giving you back your publishing, but I'm dropping a new album. I'm also hosting the VM, I'm performing at the VMAs. It's almost sounds very. Oh, and then on top of that, I was at EYL at InvestFest, and I'm donating $1 million for them to invest to whatever, and I'm also donating to HBCUs. If-
It's a good optics move, but again, I
what's the
mean,
what's the
yeah.
real what's the real reason why you gave? He said, because like he said, I felt it's time for me to do so or whatnot. But it's almost like a stock. It's almost like when you buy stocks, right? You can buy it early, and if you buy it early and it bumps up in price, then of course that's a great deal. But as we all know, stocks go up and down with the values, right? So, for example, the locks, when they're at their height, they should have got their pub back, especially during verses. Especially after what happened in verses, they should have got their pub back.
Okay,
I
so
forgot that was a
but my
point in that
thing is,
time.
okay, regardless of when, so what should Diddy do? Should he wait until everybody is at their height again to give it back to them?
I
Or
think
should he sit in his house and not do anything for 6 months so that he won't be in the news or won't be accused of being coincidentally timed when he gives it back?
I
I
think
don't.
I think
To
though
me, it's the right thing to do.
It
So
is.
regardless
it's
of when you do it,
I think
if it's
I
the right
think
thing to do, do
it's
it.
it's the right thing to do.
Period.
But I think what kind of
That's
works
it.
what goes against Diddy in this regard is, you are saying all of this, right? About, we need to do this, and this is years ago, right? He was doing this, we need to get together, we need to do it for ourselves and whatever. So when people start asking him, okay, well, give them back their masters and their publishing.
And then it was kind of crickets.
It was cricket.
It was
It
like
was
Okay. So he
so.
didn't do it at that time.
he
So
should.
he should
In
never
my
do it again in the future.
opinion, he did the right thing. Like you said, he did the right thing. He should have done the right thing like initially. Period. Like so, that's my principle. He should have done the right thing in the first place. So yeah, he
There's
did
a
the
lot of
right
stuff I should
thing.
have done in the past as well. I understand.
He should have done the right
So
thing in
that
the
Got to learn to
first
live with
place.
regrets.
I
And
think
then
th-
I
I
think
think
the
if I think
person.
if anything, that's what it was, right? If it was
Okay.
something that was like, because let's just call it what it is, right? B, Notorious B.I.G. His catalog, everyone knows about it, right? But can you really say that there's nothing else that the value of that catalog besides very little can really give make them a whole bunch of money nowadays? Yes, they're streaming, but everything is so convoluted in that the value of it is gone down.
I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that when I heard MOP's Anti Up in a Amazon
Okay.
commercial.
Okay.
So
I
I
mean,
mean, that
it's
song is
running
20 years
checks.
old, dude.
It's
No,
running checks.
but again,
Listen,
this is
I heard I like the way you move by Outkast in a joint cream commercial medication. So like, listen, man.
no, but
My thing
that's
is,
the
yeah,
difference. That's
he should have given it to them. He should have gave it to him from the start. He should have gave it to him when he talked about when he was doing it and what we should be doing together. It's all of those times passed and it didn't happen. It happened now. So to me, if there's anybody who seems to have an issue with what Diddy did, I don't know what he was supposed to do. What situation could he have provided? What situation could he have done this correct thing to do that would have been acceptable and praised, or at the very least understood and not critiqued the way that it has been? Or
None. If
I
you,
might be misperceiving it. Has it been critiqued like that? I don't know. I'm not having a whole lot of conversations with people about
it's
what Diddy is doing. But
it's gone
I
it's
mean,
gone it's gone both ways of saying yes, you you give them back their publishing, congratulations, right? But people that actually that know more about the music industry and whatnot have brought up very legitimate questions of saying, okay, why now, when the value is appearing to be nothing? And this is also coming off the backs of these venture capitalists and whatnot, basically putting 100 million, 200 million, 300 million dollars for catalogs and whatnot. And he says that they came to him. So the question is kind of like, all right, what's the real reason? Don't give us the PR reason. That's why I said
we want the explanation for your motivation for doing the right thing.
it's just saying, you know what? And I think that's where it comes, and I think where it comes down from, because you know what it is, a lot of artists nowadays are doing the whole crying and whining thing about the record labels doing me wrong, or I'm
They've
stuck
been
in this
singing that
jail.
song for years.
It's been like that. So when you're one of these when you're one of the leading executives, black executives, talking all this, and then it's just like the coincidence of you're doing all of this and now you're giving it. That's why I said is, you kind of, when you start putting the dots together, you're like, what's really going on? What's
I hear what you're saying. I just can't wrap my head around why anybody would care the timing of someone doing what's correct. Yeah, we can talk about what they should have done, what they could have done, how it should be, whether it was done for the right reasons now, but
I
it's
think
done.
I think also what kind of is gone against some in the way too is that other artists have gotten back their masters and publishing way sooner than these bad boy artists. Look at Jeezy. Jeezy basically has his masters and everything. He-
now, that brings me to a question. With that being said, since we got a slight tangent, which is fine, do you want to tell us about another album other than Diddy's album that you said was? I mean, if it's good, okay. I don't know that I wasn't running to listen to it. I'll say that. Is there another album that you want to talk about? Because at this point, you have only told us about how good Diddy's album is. And so now I must ask
No, are you talking about me or?
you.
Oh, I was just saying that that's one of the top. That's one of the top R&B albums of this. That's going of this year.
Couldn't be me because I still might not listen to it. I do it.
But that's again definitive statement, Candace. We're
What?
working
That I
on.
still might not listen to it? That is a
Trust
definitive
me,
statement.
you'll be listening to it because you're going to
I
hear
said
it.
I'd hear the single. It
No,
probably play
you'll
somewhere.
hear more because there's a lot that comes from it. I
You
told
better
you
be
Tony.
playing it when I roll up to the spot because otherwise I don't think I'm here. I'm not gonna
Uh,
hear that album.
was it Victoria? Was it Victoria Monet?
I
Hmm.
still have to listen to that one.
Yeah,
That's all, that's actually on my list.
Yep.
I like that. I told there's like I said, there's so much out there that I'm still sifting through.
Cleo
But
Soul, that was another one. You said
yeah,
mention you listened to that one.
that's why I said is like literally I'm just giving from I can't say like here are like the top 10. These are just going
Oh
off the top
no.
of my head. But I like where R&B is at the moment.
Yup.
I think they're the ones that are really understanding of how to create a legit connection with their fan bases. I
Agreed.
think like I said, the quality is so many more of cream right to the top examples. Um, a lot of their music is stick to your ribs. So you know when they drop it, you're going to be listening to that project for at least a good 2 years. They're not running. Now I can't say about Summer Walker, but usually what she does is she puts out like a 3-4 pack, but then she comes back with like an album a year later, and it's usually high quality stuff. You know, you got SZA. Look how that thing what came out what that thing came out what late
This
last
year,
year.
last year, shoot, I can't remember. It's been a little. This year, I think it was. Shit, I don't know. I'm about to look. I don't know why I can't. Time is
2022
yeah.
SOS came out last year.
Yeah. So and you see
Damn.
and you see how
Dang.
and you see how
December last year. That's why. Okay.
yeah. So we'll call it this year. But you see how long that run has gone off of that project.
Yeah, there's 23 tracks on that album.
It's yeah, we already know
They're doing more than what No Limit was doing on albums back in the day.
we know the game, but you see, but what I'm saying is, even with that 23 tracks on there, there's still a lot more that you're like, damn, because back in the day you had 3, maybe 4 singles that you could roll with. Now you basically can put out the whole entire album and it charts again.
Well, not SZA, because if she had 23 songs on a damn Billboard, I'd be. I mean, sometimes it ends up happening that way, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but we all know just how numbers are inflated and manipulated and whatnot. You know, like I said, it's for those business conversations. We need to talk to somebody who knows more about that than I
and
do.
I won't because I'm actually stressed out and then tired. So I will. The business of it all makes me annoyed, and then it gets me into my capitalism as a scam bag, and nobody wants that because then I'm just angry. Then we're just mad, and yeah. But to wrap us up, because we were like, yeah, we're gonna record long tonight, and look at us recording long.
Yep.
Um, but so what I did, I didn't have. I mean, I did want to bring Open with Tinashe, and I did want to bring that. That project is called. Oh my god, it's called Baby Angel or BB Angel. It's cute. It's definitely standard Tinashe lately in her new, not with her old label era. I think she's under her own now. I'd have to do a little more research on it, but it's cute. Very standard Tinashe. I made a playlist of some recent. I'll put indie in air quotes. I like putting indie in air quotes because I don't want to be like they got it out the mud and then they signed with somebody and whatever. But like smaller, um, most likely independent, meaning they are either funding themselves or most likely backing themselves, working with smaller labels type um, playlist. And I do want to note that Hennessy, who was recommended to us by Bam from our group chat dropped into another song recently. It's on the playlist, and it's called Forever in a Day. And I really love that. Um, she's out of Rhode Island. So I wanted to make a mention of that because it's a bop. Cal Dion's on there, Jameson's on there. I wasn't expecting to have this combo, but LA is on there, which is great. But yeah, so that playlist. It's 7 songs, 22 minutes. I'm gonna link it in the show notes, but it was just nice, like when we had, it was R&B time, and I could like pull out some tracks and put a little playlist together. So I was super excited about that. So I'm gonna share it, and then I'll share it with guys too, and y'all can listen to it. OG, I will expect you to report back by Christmas. It's cool. I'll expect that as a
after I
present.
converted from Apple Music to YouTube Music. Yeah.
Well, Spotify to YouTube.
Spotify. Okay. Great.
I love playlist converters. They're my favorite because some people be racist and don't want to, convert them all. But anywho, I love talking about R&B. I love our R&B episodes because realistically, they are a lot of fun. Like we talk about stuff that makes us it's happy. Again, the past couple episodes we've been like, mainstream. Like it's been real like heavy. So I'm glad that we get to gather around. I was going to say campfire. It'd be nice to be at campfire, but gather around the mics and talk about R&B every year. It's fun and more fun every year, and I'm excited.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you this also. It's been my experience since I've gone to the playlist. If I just listen to the song and not worry about who it's by, who produced it, any of that, just listen to the music, there's plenty of artists that I listen to and I'm like, I have no idea who you are, but this song is dope. I rock with it. And that's that. So yeah, I think when we're able to kind of strip away some of the glitz and gloss and the hey, look at me of it all and just listen to the music, there's a lot of quality that you got to find out there, but you got to be patient.
And that be the point. That just really be the point. Like, yes, it is easy to fall into the trap of, of looking to the mainstream for your sole source of music. But again, I think I've said it the last 2 episodes. The mainstream is not where I'm checking for no more. I do not care about these niggas, and I really mean that. Like, I don't care about Drake. Please leave me alone. Actually, and Nicki too. Like, leave me out of it. I don't want no more. But who I am looking for, again, Kyle Dion, our boy Jameson is cooking. Before this, we trying to get me on a flight to go see the tour. Like, they're cooking.
You can get you a directly out of Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch a flight that's not $1 million, but they're cooking, and so I can do now. One thing I will operate in this definitive statement: I do not care about the mainstream anymore, and I really do mean that. And we talk about the weekend. I'm going to address this later. I have changed feelings on the weekend. I'm going to address it later. It's a whole nother topic, but it's good. Like it for the weekend, I will say that it was fun to see him like grow and get huge and really watch an artist come from like starting out to where he is now. And I like that for him. But I think whatever, and I actually kind of hope that this is his last album. He's been teasing that he might drop another one. I think we should just end on this and be like bow out. And if we could all just bow out gracefully, that'd be great. We could stop right here, and that'd be amazing. I'd love it.
It won't happen. That money keep calling. Listen, people keep talking about, man, I wish Outkast would get back together. I don't. Because I know I am going to want to listen to whatever they come back with, and inevitably I feel as though I'm going to be disappointed.
And that's what I'm saying. We can just Dawn FM is a good place to stop, bro. Like we can stop. Okay, anyways, not the point.
He's not gonna stop.
Just let me believe, because I think, and I'll again the episode will be whatever it is, or maybe it'll be a bonus or whatever. But I think that I'm finally saying I think I'm done. I think that right
Well,
here is
he's
where I stop.
you know that he's dropping the weekend moniker, and he's just going with Abel.
Well, I'm hoping he said he wanted to do TV and all that stuff, whatever. But I think that I actually, what I'm saying also is knowing when it's time for me to get off the train. So you can't disappoint me if I already
Yep.
pull, like, you can't pull the
Yep.
rug from under me if I say, you know what, maybe this is where we stop. Because then, like
So
you said, then I don't have any expectations. I'm not disappointed. And here we are. I'm not saying that I'm hanging up my stand card, because if you like, Kissland just had its 10th anniversary or whatever, and I was ready to buy some merch.
wait, hold up. Go down his discography real quick because I want to.
All right, I got you.
Off
House
the
of
top.
Balloons.
Well, trilogy.
Oh, okay. House of Balloons,
No,
Thursday, Echoes of Silence, that's a trilogy. And then you have Kissland, then you have Beauty Behind the Madness, then you have um
Starboy.
I want to say My Dear Melancholy, which is that
Oh
small
yeah,
EP, came out before Starboy. Or I can't remember where. This is a little fuzzy if it came out before or after. Then it's Starboy, then it's After Hours, then it's
so
Dawn
that's what,
FM.
like 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then I already know why he's jumping off.
I mean, it's been a bunch of albums. It's
No,
been
it's and OG. We'll end with this. OG will probably know where I'm coming with this. If their artist usually has a sweet spot in terms of releases, and usually it's about the third to fourth album is when they start dipping a little bit, depending on their level of popularity.
this didn't happen with The Weeknd, but okay.
Eh,
He got more popular after Starboy, not less.
but that's we talked about evolving, right?
Yeah.
Starboy, if you want to say, you could say his last three albums from a production standpoint
Were
started
pop.
sounded the same.
Yes, agreed.
So that kind of falls that four album.
But if you were
Window.
talking about
That's why I was asking.
performance and like how well it's done, like
No,
he
no, no, no.
he ascended that way, if you're
That's
talking about that.
that's a different discussion.
Or you're talking about the creative slump. So you're saying
Hmm.
creatively he slumped there. Um,
Creatively, and why I say that is that around album 3 or 4, if they really start getting real popular or whatnot, that's when usually the other outside projects, fashion lines, movies,
that's
TV.
happening with Don FM. He is finally like branching off with
But
this
that you
album.
can say that happened earlier because he was
Oh
in
yeah,
Uncut
Uncut Gems. That was
Gems.
Starboy era. You're
So
cut. Yeah, you're
that's what
right.
I'm saying. Is around album 3, album 4 that the focus is diverted a little bit from creating in terms of music. Now it's earlier, so that's why I said it's usually for an artist. Usually their first 3 to 4 albums is usually their best stuff, unless they have a
The only
sophomore slump.
reason, like I said, the only reason that I will say as a fan, the only reason that that's not true is for The Weeknd is because these last three albums were his best albums. Even the pop, even that, like, people will. House of Balloon or the trilogy will have a nostalgia and it will have the pivot that it did for R&B. But if you listen to these last three albums, production, lyrically, and the way that like that pack goes, those are his best, like cohesive. If you talk about bodies of work, those are his best albums. So yes, when you start at Starboy, start now. After Hours and Dawn FM to me feel like they were kind of like created similarly in the same. Starboy does not sound exactly like those two. They have like a different tone, but the only difference, like I said, the only difference here is that as a hardcore fan, those are his best. Like these last three albums are his best. Even like outside of even numbers, like of course the numbers are bananas. They are also his best bodies of work. So
We can discuss that
yeah,
for later.
another time we can counter. We're gonna get a weekend counter. A
You
weekend
probably need one.
counter and
Yeah.
a Drake counter. We're gonna get a Canada counter. I'm gonna call it a Canada counter because we talk about them lots. But yeah, like every year we do this. Thank you. Thank you, OG, for coming.
Hey, no problem.
Yearly appearance. I love it. Maybe next year we'll try for 2, but that
Hey,
might be
listen,
a
if you ask far enough in advance, we can probably make most things happen.
we can do it. Thank you, AD, as always, for hanging out for another R&B episode. But yeah, I love these, and they're always so fun. So with that, I'll wrap us up. This has been the BINACT podcast, where we talk music, the people that make it, and the communities that listen to it. Talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.